Hello, everyone. Good
Hello.
evening. We are here on another episode of Scranton Talks. My name is Luz Cabrales, and I'm the co-founder of the Independent Creative Hub and founder of Scranton Films.
Hi, everyone. My name is Desiree Zelinsky. I'm also the co-founder of the Independent Film Creative Hub, and I also run NEPA Film Society, a local filmmaking community here in Northeast Pennsylvania. I also organize, along with Luz, the Mystery Box Film Challenge, and we are super excited to be kicking off 2022 with another Scranton Talks through our social media platforms and through our Independent Film Creative Hub network. Make sure you sign up to our creativehub.com.
Yes, please.
Stay up to date on all local projects, connect with local filmmakers here in the area, and collaborate on projects together. This community is for you, and only you can help us make it grow. Sign up today. It's free, and it's super easy.
Very, very easy. And we actually have a couple updates today. I'm glad that you mentioned the Mystery Box Film Challenge.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about that. Desiree does a great job running that. And I mean, that's what we're here for. So go right ahead with our quick update.
I couldn't do it without her. But yeah, our filmmakers who participate in the Mystery Box Film Challenge have been notified that they've been selected. We have 7 films that are going to be shown at the Northeast Pennsylvania Film Festival. That's the weekend of April 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. Mystery Box Block is showing on Sunday, April 3rd from 12 to 1 o'clock. So it's opening Sunday, and we have Sketch from Don Dognan and Carol Hadley of Route 22 Filmworks, A Date to Remember from Anthony Cutro, Eve by Vinnie Langdon III, Slashing Grounds by Michael Bentino and Golden Groves, Reservoir Dudes from James Worthington and Electric Cine Films, Game of Solitaire from Zach Wilcox and Tony Suzy, and Haze by myself and Luz Cabrales.
Yes, we always want to be the example, right? Because we are here to make films, make shows, do whatever we can to be creative. So Desiree and I always take on the challenge to do something, not just for us, but also for the community. I mean, we are collaborating here, helping each other. And the Mystery Box is, it's really the example of challenging yourself and making something. I think how long did they have? I think it was 2 months.
They usually get 2 months. We kicked it off on September 1st and ended about the beginning of November. But just keep an eye out on the Northeast Pennsylvania's Film Festival's website. They'll be having information very soon on how you can purchase tickets to attend the festival this year.
Very cool. And I'm sure you'll be sending out those emails to the filmmakers. Okay, we are here today for another episode of Scranton Talks. Of course, we try to do it every month. And this month, which we're kicking off with Chloe Bluebell Joyce. If you don't know who Chloe is, I don't know where you've been, because she is a talented and smart girl. She's only 11 years old, but she already has worked for Nickelodeon, Gabe's Department, Store, Food Network, HBO, Amazon Prime, and just to name a few. She's also been in a short film that I did 2019, and it was amazing. I think she is very, very talented, and she's just one of the examples of how much talent we have here in the community. So we want to make sure we highlight and spotlight all the cool stuff that she's doing. But before we do that, we're going to show you her demo reel. That way we have a little bit to talk about, and then make sure that if you have any questions, put them on the, wherever you are watching. We're streaming, I think, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, about 8, 7 locations, including the event that we created. So make sure if you weren't able to watch it live, you're going to be able to see it on our YouTube channel. But before we do that, let's just put the demo reel. That way you can, see what she's been up to.
SafetyNet is there when it really matters. The smart keyboard detects and filters her harmful outgoing messages before damage is done. And the dynamic safety indicator provides powerful insights to promote family-wide understanding of their digital world, all while keeping kids' privacy.
In the Kids Baking Championship, imagine your amusement challenge. 3 young cooks are tasked with dreaming up creative desserts inspired by the new movie Wonder Park.
I made the funnel cake of my dreams, and it's as as cool as Boomer. So silly. Gus looks great. I love the loopy-loop roller coaster. Dear future me, when I'm a mommy, I don't want my kids to be scared to come home.
Daphne Kensington's reputation for identifying opportunities is bigger than the Big Apple itself.
I already have a personal assistant, and I'm getting an AI next week. Seriously, we have recess coming up, so you better start to impress. Ew, this apple smells like the library.
Sorry, I have it next to some overdue books in there.
What type of books?
A Brief History of Time, Birds of America, Death to Dust, stuff like that.
Have you ever read Oh, the Places We'll Go? I love that one.
That's a children's book. I prefer more intellectual books, subjects that make sense, you know?
Not everything has to make sense.
Oh, nightingale, he told me one day you'll be with me. My heart flies with nightingale. I pray to see you, to love you forevermore.
It's your turn now. Rule number 1, don't cheat. Rule number 2, if you have to cheat, be a good cheater.
Simple silly, Daddy.
Grace, it's getting late. You should probably get to bed.
But Daddy...
Come on, sweetheart. I have to talk to Uncle Troy. I'll come check on you in a little bit, okay?
Okay.
Wow, that was
Awesome.
really, really good. Welcome, Chloe. Welcome to Scranton Talks.
Hi!
We're very happy that you're here with us, and we're gonna get started. So again, this is very, very laid back. We love to have just conversations with filmmakers, actors, anyone who's creative around here. And today is you, and we're very, very, very happy. So Chloe, I hear that your first performance was when you were only 3 years old. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us a little bit about that. I know that you like to tell the story of, because it was a very special story that you acted with your dad. Is that correct?
Yeah.
So what was the performance?
Okay, so it was called A Pirate's Life with Me, and I was the littlest pirate. And basically, in the show, I had an inflatable sword. And the lead guy in the show, I had like a little fight scene with him that like I personally made up. But I would start like doing that at him. And it would always just get the biggest laugh out of the audience because he was like 8 feet taller than me. And it was just like really adorable.
Oh, wow. That must have been fun. And so when you were, so here you are when you're 3 years old, and what made you start acting? Like, was it after that you were like, oh my goodness, like this is what I want to do, or did it take a little bit longer for you?
I was definitely shy back then, so it took like at least like maybe like 2-ish years after, so I was like 5 when I
Okay.
first started getting like really, really into like acting and singing and dancing and stuff. So yeah.
Oh well, no, well, that's really good, and it's just really hard to get in front of the camera. I already I'm always like nervous to do Scranton Talks because I have to be in front of the camera. So I don't know how you do it, right? Desiree is like it's not my thing.
I can relate. I was shy when I was younger too. It takes a lot of practice to get comfortable in front of the camera. But yeah. But I've looked at your demo reel is really impressive. I looked on your backstage listing, and you are listed as an actress and singer. What do you like most about being an actress? And do you prefer singing over acting?
I feel like singing really gets me out of my comfort zone and really just like makes me spill my heart out. And I could make eye contact with a lot of people and like the audience and stuff. But with filming, you can't look at the camera at all. So it's a very different type of thing. So I can't really pick which one's my favorite because they're just both super different.
So like two different creative outlets, but you also do theater, right? I know we had a question here on our notes that we wanted to ask you, that just the difference between theater, film, and singing, and you just touched on the singing part and the filming part, but when you do theater, right, especially around here, because a lot of kids your age are starting to get their social skills up, they're starting to make friends, and the first thing they parents do is they send them to theater, yeah, so they can learn a little bit of that. What has been your experience in that? I know you've been in like multiple productions.
Um, yes, as you said, I've been in multiple productions.
Right.
And the major difference between acting on stage and acting for like a full-on TV show or something is that you cannot make eye contact with the camera because you will be looking at someone directly. And even if you're not showing your full face, that's really about camera acting. But when you are in theater, you always have to turn the foot that you're facing, like from the stage to the audience. You have to turn that foot out a little bit, so your face is always facing the audience at least a little bit.
Oh,
Oh, that's
interesting.
good to know.
Interesting. Good to know. I never done theater before,
Oh,
so
me
it's
neither.
it's it's good to know. Like and how about like the script, right? Like because I
Yeah.
know in film you have to learn script. Maybe you don't get a lot of time, or do you get a lot of time? Like, what's your process when you're doing that and when you're reading scripts and memorizing?
So when I'm memorizing a script, sometimes I'll like read it 3 times and then take a break, and then read
Hmm.
it 3 times again and then take another break. But with acting, throughout practices, because of how many practices you get all the time in the world to do the script. But then after you
Oh
get
wow.
into something called Tech Week, it's when
Mhm.
like all the lights and costumes and mics get put on you. Um, that's when you're not allowed to have your script and you have to be fully memorized. But also in theater, there's something that you need to do, which is projecting, which you need to
Right.
talk very loud. Say if your mic
Oh.
malfunctions and it's not working,
Uh-huh.
you have to like basically yell so that the people all the way in the
Yeah.
top of the theater can hear you. While in film, there's always a little microphone over you, and you
Mhm.
don't have to like yell. You can just talk like a normal person.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense because in film, you do a lot of takes, right? But in theater, you get one chance, right? Like, how do you manage that? I mean, do you get nervous when that? I mean, it's there's two different things, but I'm sure you get nervous a little bit of that. But how do you manage that? Just to be able to remember all that and to know that, okay, maybe you did a film the day before, but now you're in theater. Like, what does Chloe do?
Um, okay. So how I remember that I'm for sure in a filming studio and not on
Mhm.
stage is that when I try to even like turn my head the tiniest bit close to the camera, it's the don't look at the camera, don't look at the camera. But then when I'm in theater and I'm like facing completely towards the person, there's like face out a little bit. I'm just like, oh yeah. And then I like turn my head to the audience a little bit more.
Oh, so you're kind of like talking to yourself and like calming yourself and saying, okay, now this is where I am, and you sort of adjust as you do projects.
Yes.
Very, very cool.
Wow.
And I know what I mean. You pretty much touched on what the big difference and the challenges that you have with theater. I know that Desiree had a couple questions on like just the type of projects that you have worked on.
Yes, I mean I've heard that. Were there any kind of fun moments in your acting or theater performances that you just remember having super fun? Because we heard from your mom that you did a short film called "It's a Long Story" and you were in a food fight scene and then you were
Right.
covered with spaghetti. Could you want to touch on that, or if there's any other fun moments that you remember being on a set or on stage?
Yeah. So for that food fight thing, me and my friend got completely drenched in milk. We got spaghetti on each other, and we just got like completely drenched in food and milk. But then, as we were leaving, we were just like, why don't we go to Starbucks? And when we went to Starbucks, they had like the drinks that we did not want. They had like just like the plain coffee, no creamer, just like black coffee. But it was just like a beautiful Starbucks and just an amazing experience. And probably one of my most memorable, like, and fun experience of theater was becoming the second Matilda, because the director pulled me over and he was just like, okay, listen, I want you to be my second Matilda. And even before, like, after I heard that, I just started bursting in tears, and
Oh.
I walked out.
Great.
And like my mom was just like, yes, Chloe. And it was just such a fun experience to be Matilda.
Now I remember that, and you did such an excellent job. You were also doing an accent, right? Like how was that like compared to doing just a regular, you were doing a British accent. How do you even learn that? Like how
It's
do
gonna
you
be
do it?
tough.
Yeah, it's very
Um,
tough, right?
yeah. Even from when I was younger, I'd watch this thing called Doctor Who, and everybody in that show is British.
Mhm.
And I so badly wanted to be British. So I just like kept doing the accent. So when I got to the point where I had to do it for a show, I was just like, I can do this like the back of my hand. It was just so easy and for me.
Did you
Oh,
have
well,
any like
very cool.
formal training to get the accent, or were you just like, I'll just try to do it?
Yeah, I just did it and they were just like, wow, that's good.
That's very good.
Thanks to
That's very
Doctor
good.
Who.
Have you had any experience in film doing a different accent as well, like other than theater?
No, I've never really had to do a different accent for any film things. Mostly just
Not
like,
yet.
yeah, not yet.
So what fun projects is Chloe involved in right now? If you're able to tell, like what is the most favorite film project that you're doing?
So, like, I'm not really doing any film projects right now, but my favorite project, like film project that I did do, that's kind of hard actually. I
Yeah, I'm
really
sure
like
you've done quite a few. So,
I really like doing that high five one because
right.
me and those kids got along really well, and that one dog that I did a high five with, um, was like my best friend throughout that whole entire thing. I love that dog so much.
Oh, that's very cool. So, you had to work with an actual dog, and like, did they do different takes, right? Because I know it was
Yeah.
just you kept like doing different stuff.
Yeah. So me and the dog, we just kept high fiving, and when they got like the thing that they thought was just like perfect, we just kept it, and then we moved on to the next high five.
Oh,
Very
yeah,
cool. Very
that's
cool.
cool.
And yeah, a lot of fun projects. I mean, I know the Nickelodeon one. I mean, that one seemed pretty cool. I know it
Mm-hmm.
was a commercial running for quite a bit. So what was your experience with that? You're going from because you have experience doing small projects and then bigger projects for studios. Like, what is the main difference for that? Maybe for someone trying to get into the industry, and trying to see like how that will go.
Usually when I'm in like smaller projects, like short films and stuff,
Uh-huh.
um, I get to like I know most of the people that I'm in the project with, but for this particular like ad, I didn't know anybody there. So I kind of had to like become friends with people and stuff. So yeah.
Right. I'm sure it's very, very easy for you. I mean, you're very likable, and you like to be friendly, right? Now, when you go into auditions, I know it's a little bit different. In a small town, going into auditions rather than the big city, you're always going to New York City, to do auditions for stuff. So, what is the like anything that you can take away from that? Like, what's the process? Like, tell us a little bit more about that.
Okay, so for theater auditions, most of the time when you walk through the door, that's when you start the audition. You have to be
Okay.
respectful. You have to know like
Mhm.
boundaries of
Mhm.
like personal space, projecting, and just being yourself. Like that's the best thing you can do for both those auditions, unless they really just want you to be like the complete opposite of yourself, then be
Mhm.
the complete opposite of yourself. But being yourself comes with struggles. If you're really just like being rude, but that's
Right.
not your normal self, but you're just trying to think that that's yourself,
Yeah.
then like it's just hard. So
It is.
you always want to have the best first impression.
And how about for films and commercials? What is the so like you see? Do you? I know your mom, and we'll talk a little bit about because I know you also have representation. That when you see an ad, let's say for something for Nickelodeon, what is the process like? How do you prepare yourself for that? Right. Um,
Okay. Because of
I'm
COVID,
just picking your brain now, because like maybe I want to become an actress. I'm not sure, So
because of COVID, you're not really able to go into New York to do
okay.
face-to-face auditions,
Yeah.
but you get to do self-tape auditions or like just like for me, it's usually my mom filming. When there's a separate person in the script,
Hmm.
usually just like the person off the side, like my mom, for example, she just says the other lines. And yeah, if you forget them too, it's
Hmm.
just so easy to just retake it. And
Right. So it's probably a lot. In a way, it's a little bit better for that part. But before COVID, what did you have to do? Like you had to go into the city and travel.
um, sometimes, yeah.
Okay. So you
Or
will go in. Let's say it's a studio. What was the process like? Was it a little intimidating? Maybe like, oh, like, like.
yeah, because one time, I don't really remember what it was for, but I was
Mhm.
auditioning for something, and we were just in this like huge room, and it was just me and this other girl, and she had this like professional camera just on me, and then
Oh.
I had to say the lines, and she was just the other person, and it wasn't like scary, but it was just like nerve-wracking.
No, I bet. I mean, now because you have to know the lines. You have to be ready, like you said. You have to be respectful. You have to be like, I mean, your audition starts when you walk in the door. Like you said. So, we always like to ask a question before we end the show, but we're gonna just wait a little bit, just because I want to make sure that the kids out there know that just because you live in a small town doesn't mean you can't do a lot of cool creative projects, right?
Yeah.
So what I know you have done, I'm just gonna list a couple things that you have done, just so people can get inspired, that you could do it even if you're 11 years old. You know what I mean? I know you have been on HBO. You did a little bit of a photo shoot for the plot against America. Tell us a little bit about that, and
That's
then
pretty
I can tell
impressive.
them. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Okay, so yeah, that was a really fun experience because um we got to take the picture,
Uh-huh.
and one of the lead girls in the show came in, and like she was just the most friendly person on the planet. She was like, "Hi." And then I got to meet this little girl. She was like super shy, but she was just the most adorable kid on the planet. Um
Go
and
ahead.
I was just like, how is this going to turn out?
Mhm.
Because it was just a normal thing. And we had the like coolest hair. Like they like wrapped my hair around this little like ribbonish thing,
Okay.
and then they would
Nice.
tie
Yeah.
it in a bow in the back, and it just looks so pretty.
So now they were recreating a picture for it to be on the show. I know that it didn't make it on the show, but we're more about the experience, right? Like how was that experience? I mean, that was really cool. Like just being on HBO, and I know they were
Give like
trying
maybe
to
the audience context. Like you were cast as the young Winona Ryder character for that picture specifically.
for the picture specifically, right? That was so then what was the process with that? Like did they took the picture and yeah, tell me more about it because I'm clueless about this kind of
And
stuff.
then after they took the picture, I went home. And then not till weeks after we got the finished product, and it just looked so cool. And it just looked like I just like didn't look like myself because of how old it looked.
Right.
And yeah, it was just a really cool experience.
And we're
When
gonna
they,
put the. I'm sorry to. We're gonna put the demo reel after so people can see it. If in case you missed it, you'll be able to go right ahead, Chloe. Sorry.
when they did tell us that like, okay, so you're not going to be able to make it onto the show, I was completely fine with that because it's more about the experience than the actual full-on thing. But yeah.
And
Well,
that's
yeah, and I'm glad you touched on that, and Desiree, just because I know that Desiree and I are trying to tell people that it's okay if maybe you didn't make it into the show, maybe you didn't get that part. How do you, as Chloe, handle that, right? I know it's hard, and it could be disappointing when you don't get a part, but what would you tell someone that's getting into the industry of how to handle rejection like that?
Um, don't look too let down, especially if you're in front of the person, because if you really just like get so upset, then they'll be like, okay, so maybe next time if we don't get him this part, we have to be careful because then they won't like it and then we'll have a big problem.
Right, right. Oh,
Just
that makes sense. Okay.
instead of like throwing like a tantrum,
Hmm.
basically just say thank you for this opportunity. It really means a lot. I'll just, yeah, that's really it.
And how about when you go home and like do you feel that like you put all this work into something, right? How do you just shake that off and move on to the next project?
Because there's always more to look forward to. And
Very
once
cool.
one door closes, another one opens.
Oh, very good
Yeah,
advice.
so true. But I know we mentioned on your reel you are represented by Jackie Reed at Little Angels Management. If you want to tell us a little more about how that works and how did you get representation, and does that mean you're going to get more opportunities coming your way? Because we were informed that this is pilot season and that you are eligible now to be auditioning for those types of things. If you want to go into that a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like Jackie could get me so many jobs that I didn't know I could ever get. And she's just a really big person in the industry. So I feel like it will just be easier for her to get me jobs than my mom going off by herself and getting me jobs.
Uh-oh. You know what? It'll probably be easier for her, just give it to someone else. But you know what? That's a good thing. Just knowing that you have to hustle, right? And you have to make a lot of things. Sometimes I know that, you have been in like your first student film was a little tough, like you were going somewhere that you didn't know where you were going to be. I think that's the end of the demo reel. Um,
Yeah.
So, what was that experience like? Because before you could get representation, you have to do a lot of work, right? So you can show that the agency that you are good, right? So tell us before that, like, how was it when you did your first student film?
So basically there was just like, okay, sorry. Okay.
It's all right.
So
It's all right.
usually when it's night scenes, it's not usually nighttime. They
Right.
place black, like, I don't know what to call it, but like it almost looks like garbage bags, but it's for sure not garbage bags,
Okay.
over the windows, and it just makes it look like night.
Oh.
And I got to see like a really high tech camera for the first time, where you sit on a little like Polish thing, but like then it has a seat on it,
Uh-huh.
and then you just move your feet and you can zoom in to the camera, like to the people. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Like a dolly, kind of like it was like on wheels or something.
Yeah.
Is that what you're, okay? That's all right. It's not your job to know all the tech stuff. It's your job to be pretty and do a good performance, right? Um, but no, that's really good. And so when you do films, now let's move on to your commercial work, right? Because I know you have done a couple, and that was one was the Nickelodeon was a commercial. You recently did that might have been before COVID. Gabe's department store. That looked really fun. Like you did a lot of takes, and I think they did about 3 or 4 spots. I'm not sure, but I know there was a couple of like different variations.
Yeah, for one, I got to look at shoes, and I found one that I really wanted, but my mom did not let me get because the store was closed because because we were doing a commercial.
That's why
But
you have a manager now, right? Now you can say, "Just give me the shoes." All right, go ahead.
but for that one, like 5 second shot of me jumping around in the dress, it took like 18 takes.
Wow.
Because one time the headband fell down, another time my hair got into like my face really big time, and just like it could be the littlest mistake, but it could look like much bigger on camera.
It's a good thing that you point out. Like you did like
Even
about
the
18
simplest
takes.
things take like the longest to do.
Right. And a lot of kids and a lot of adults, anyone who's trying to get into the industry, maybe they don't realize that, it takes a lot of work for one scene, right? Like what is your biggest takeaway from that? I know that half the time is you're just waiting around for those filmmakers just to make the scene happen. What advice would you give to the kids if they want to get into film, but maybe they come from theater, because in theater you get, yes, you do a lot of rehearsing, but and then it's one day and then you're done. Like, what is for the film part of it? Like, what is your biggest takeaway?
Um, I know you're gonna be used to projecting and stuff, but they always have a microphone right over you,
Okay.
and you can just talk like your normal self. There probably won't be singing, but there could be, and
Mhm.
good for you because you know how to sing because you're in theater.
Right. So,
But
so basically, you're saying that if you're coming from theater and you get a gig, doing a film, you might be like ready to do it, and you're like, okay, I'm ready to project, but then in film, you have to tone it down.
yeah,
Oh wow. Okay. So and why is that? I know you said it just because you have to do a lot of takes. Is that like a little bit I guess tedious that you're like, really? Are we gonna do this again? Like, do you have to have a lot of patience?
yes, you need to have lots of patience for filmmaking.
What have you had like what's the longest take you've ever made? Like how long did it take? Like a whole day, maybe a couple days?
Um, I would say it took like I don't know how long, but I think it was with you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, what was it?
It was the
Now you're gonna
apple
put me in
scene.
the spot.
It was the apple scene where I had to throw it behind me,
Oh
and
yeah.
it took like 50 takes just for me to throw an apple behind me. Yeah.
That well, you know why? Because he had to hit that bird, right?
Mhm.
Technically, yeah. So now, see, like how well, how patient do you have to be? Like, let's say you're like in the middle of doing a film, and you're like, really, like another take? Like, what do you do as a professional when that happens?
Don't
Like, what do
really.
you tell yourself?
Um, don't show it even if you are getting a little bit fussy about it.
Right?
Just move on with the take if it takes hours to do even. Like when I first started doing this and I first started taking
Uh huh.
self tapes and I couldn't get it in like 4 shots, I would just cry. And
Okay.
and then my mom would be like, "No, don't get glassy eyed on me right now." And now that I've grown up more, I know not to cry, but
Right.
to just keep going and pray that it gets better and better each time.
Right, because it could be frustrating because it is a lot of work, and but but then how does it feel when you actually see your work, right? When you see that, oh my goodness, like I'm in a commercial, or I was on TV, like how do you feel about that?
Um, Sorry, can you repeat that?
Like, is it exciting to see yourself on the big screen? Like, and then you remember, like, oh, I remember that, but
Yeah,
is it pretty cool?
it's yeah, it's nice.
Or do you
it's
like seeing
nice.
yourself on screen? Because I know a lot of actors are like, nope, not watching what I did. It's like me. If I'm in it, I'm like, no, like I'm not watching it.
Yeah. My friends wanted to look at my old videos today, and I was just like,
Uh-huh.
nope, not happening.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah.
well, let's talk about just. I know we have a couple questions before we wrap it up, because it is a school night, right? So we want to make sure that you do
That's
you
like
finish your homework
yeah.
already?
So, well, maybe we
No, I
could.
have one last thing to do.
Oh no, so we gotta get you on that. Okay, so Desiree, let's see if we have any questions. And see. Well, let me see. I think we have one right here. Let me see if I can put it on the screen. There it is. Professionally, where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Oh, that's a good question.
That is a very good question.
I'm hoping to see
Uh-huh.
myself on an actual movie set and
Wow.
maybe even on a Broadway stage, but I think I'd still be a little bit young
Uh-huh.
because I'm turning 12 in like, I think 12 days actually.
Oh, when's your
Oh
birthday?
my goodness. Yes, yes. You are is gonna be your birthday. And okay. And we'll also talk about someone's birthday today, but so that's what you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah, I hope so.
I
Oh,
think you will.
yeah, you
I think
definitely
you will.
will.
You're definitely talented, and I know doors are gonna open for you. But let's talk about some birthdays. So you're gonna be 12, right?
Yeah.
Happy early birthday.
When's your
Okay.
birthday?
Thank you. February 12th.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm a February birthday too.
Oh, really? What's your
I'm
birthday?
I'm February 18th.
Oh, February 18. Okay, a lot of February
Happy early birthday.
birthdays, right? I think your best friend Jolie is gonna be on the 4th, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah, Julian's gonna be on the 4th, and Charisma's gonna be on the 12th. So there's a
Dad's
lot of
on the
birthdays.
13th and my cousin's on the 12th. So
It's a busy month for everybody. And today we get it kicked off. I know you wanted to do a shout out for someone very special in your life.
Um, my grand's birthday is today.
Yay! Happy
Um,
birthday.
happy birthday.
I do know his age, but I don't know if he wants me to say it.
It's
So
okay. We can keep it a secret. You can just
I'm
say. I
not
mean,
gonna say it.
I don't want you to get in trouble.
But I just want to wish you the happiest birthday, Gran, and I hope you have the best night of your life.
Oh, I think it's
That's
gonna be
nice.
very nice because he got to see you here. Just do a quick check and see if there's any more comments.
Yeah, I could ask Chloe, what
Go
projects are
ahead.
you working on right now that we could look forward to? Anything up and coming?
I'm doing musical kids at my theater, and I'm Cat in the Hat.
Oh, Cat in the
Nice.
Hat.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see that. When is that gonna be? Do you know?
April something. I'm not
April
exactly
something?
sure, but
Well,
yeah.
that's all right. It should be. Well, I don't know if it'll be getting nice. I think that's probably when we're gonna get the snow, but it should be good. We're very very excited. But okay, so we're gonna leave you with one last question, and I think we already did it, but we're just gonna ask it anyway because we always do. So, what advice would you give other kids that are watching right now, hopefully, that may want to be an actor or actress like you, like something that you have learned?
Just be yourself. Don't try to hide your just yeah, that's all I really gotta say. Just be yourself.
Just be yourself. That's I think really good and great advice, right?
Anyone can take
uh,
that advice, yeah.
exactly. So if anyone else, I don't think I see any more
um,
questions.
I only saw Bridget made a comment, keep up the good work, you'll get there.
Oh, perfect. That's good. How come I don't see them here? It's perfect. And then, so maybe let me double check real quick, just because we're like live streaming in like other stuff places. So just making sure. So what was the question? That's right.
Bridget LaMonica just made a comment just saying, keep up the good work, you'll get there.
She definitely will. She definitely will. And
Yeah.
for anyone who hasn't checked out her work, the website is going to be at the end here. Let me just put a comment. You are awesome, Colleen. Great job on the interview, says Katie. Right? Oh, Kathy. Kathy. Very cool. Very cool. I think the comments are going to start coming in, which is really nice. You guys can still comment even after the live is over, and then Chloe can see it later, and she'll be able to just check it out. But okay, perfect. So what we're gonna do is I am going to show you. Actually, no. Let's close
wrap
the.
it up.
Let's wrap it up. Desiree, take it away, and then I'm gonna show you the demo reel again for Chloe for the ones those who missed it. Go ahead, Desiree.
Thanks.
Sorry, I think it's a
No,
school
that's
night for
okay.
me.
Well, thank
All right.
you all so much for joining us tonight for our first Scranton Talks of 2022 with Chloe. We have wonderful events coming up, so be sure to follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on everything that we have going on. And subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can see any of our previous talks like this one and any of the ones that we've done in the past. They all live on our YouTube channel, so you can check them out if you can't make the live broadcast. Right. We also have a podcast where all the interviews go up. That's on Apple Podcasts and Spotify with all the previous talks that you can listen to on the go. And the Independent Film Creative Hub is for you, geared to help filmmakers reach their potential in becoming successful creative artists. Be sure to visit www.ourcreativehub.com and join our directory. It's free to sign up.
Yes. And we're going to do a nice episode on what the Creative Hub is. I know there's been a lot of misconceptions just on what we're trying to do here. But we're going to leave that for another time. But just again, thank you so much for being part of Scranton Talks. Thank you, Chloe, for taking the time on a school night to come and chat with us, about your cool projects. And we're going to leave everyone with Chloe's demo reel. If you have any comments, this is your time to put them all out there and encourage kids like Chloe to just keep going and do creative things around the area, because guess what? We're going to become the area that's going to have so much talent, because the talent is here. We just need to get it out of their shell. Okay. So thank you so much, Chloe. I'll put this interview. I'm sorry, this demo reel here, and you have a great night. All right.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks so much.
SafetyNet is there when it really matters. The smart keyboard detects and filters her harmful outgoing messages before damage is done. And the dynamic safety indicator provides powerful insights to promote family-wide understanding of their digital world, all while keeping kids' privacy.
In the Kids Baking Championship, imagine your amusement challenge. 3 young cooks are tasked with dreaming up creative desserts inspired by the new movie Wonder Park.
I made the funnel cake of my dreams, and it's as cool as Boomer. So silly. Gus looks great. I love the loopy-loop roller coaster. Dear future me, when I'm a mommy, I don't want my kids to be scared to come home.
Daphne Kensington's reputation for identifying opportunities is bigger than the Big Apple itself.
I already have a personal assistant, and I'm getting an AI next week. Seriously, we have recess coming up, so you better start to impress. Ew, this apple smells like the library.
Sorry, I have it next to some overdue books in there.
What type of books?
A Brief History of Time, Birds of America, Death to Dust, stuff like that.
Have you ever read Oh, the Places We'll Go? I love that one.
That's a children's book. I prefer more intellectual books, subjects that make sense, you know?
Not everything has to make sense.
Oh, nightingale, he told me one day you'll be with me. My heart finds vow to love you forevermore.
It's your turn now. Rule number 1, don't cheat. Rule number 2, if you have to cheat, be a good cheater.
Time to try, Daddy.
Grace, it's getting late. You should probably get to bed.
But Daddy.
Come on, sweetheart. I have to talk to Uncle Troy. I'll come check on you in a little bit, okay?